What's going on, guys? Slowash here. Want to bring you a recommended build guide for Taskmaster. I'm going to see if I can't get him through the Cosmic Trial with this build, so bear with me as I grind through this real quick. Of course, you have Pirate Deadpool on. It's a necessity. I have been running with Howard the Duck, and that was actually pretty fun. But I got my Taskmaster build pretty well geared up. Nothing too super expensive actually, so that's a good thing for all those of you looking out there to play him without putting a ton of gawk value of items onto him. He seems to be working pretty well with some pretty cheap artifacts. Surprisingly well, actually. I'm pretty happy with where he's at, actually. He's kind of tanky. Only main problem I see with him is his spirit management, which I guess I'm probably over spamming some of his AoE dots and vulnerability appliers and things like that. So maybe I should cool it for a second until I get my there we go, use the signature. I love this thing. Wow, they got shredded. Yeah, having a real hard time concentrating and talking, so please forgive me. But it's a very, very simplistic build. I found it on the marvelheroes.info, and honestly, I liked it so much that I decided I wasn't going to add any of my own flavor to it other than the gearing for him. I think the build was something along the lines of just being fun. It wasn't like best time to kill or anything like that, but I have to say I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Let me kick on the... I was going to say, I wonder if he's going to spawn that damn green orb there. It just shreds people. I feel like with the gear that I got on and how tanky and defensive he is, I don't know how people say he's all that bad. I think he's waxing these dudes pretty fucking quick, if you ask me. Got some good survivability, good DPS. Maybe it's not top tier or anything like that, but making Captain America proud with that shield throw, that's for sure. Basically, you're just layering your vulnerabilities and your dots on these guys. The web net is the vulnerability applier, so that's plus 10 damage automatically. And then you're using the shields, dot, and bleed application, plus the toxic arrow dot to really just pour out some serious damage. And then the crash down move, the like shield crash thing, is really good against guys that are bleeding, so you always want to make sure you have the shield bleed application on guys before you throw it down. And then it does 40% more damage, I believe, to targets that are already bleeding. See, I was gonna say, let's see if we can't get Red Skull to spawn. He actually has so few skills and so many passives that he can quite easily manage one main skill bar. Let's pop the Sig real quick. Oh, there he goes. Let's get this dude in there. Just tank that shit, bitch. Oh, lordy. Yes. Like I said before, I tried to gear him fairly tanky, so He's got a lot of good stuff going for survivability. I'm gonna try him in some cosmic danger rooms. Let's do the ultimate. Get all my little minions out on him. Easy peasy. Look at all these guys, all my trainees. That's badass. Alright, so for the build, let's go real quick. Basically, it's max dismember, max rebounding shield, max shield crush, and this works really well after you do rebounding shield. So you throw this out there, let it bounce off guys, get that dot going, and then you do the shield crush on any of those guys to get 50% more damage. Dismember is basically what you're just click locking on guys with. Web net, you just put 1 point in because this is your vulnerability applier, and then you got 20 points in a toxic arrow because that's a good AoE dot for everyone that's on the screen, and it does weaken, so that's great. We got 20 points into flawless immolation. This is just a huge defensive passive, and it also gains you some additional buff things. If I guess it's not showing. I guess they become active as you hit. So since we're using the Daredevil and Captain America, we gain dexterity, which gives us more dodge and deflect. So that's good for survivability. We got 20 points into Impervious Soldier. This is the Captain America stance. 20 points into Fearless Acrobat. This is basically your other melee damage type toggle. You basically are just keeping these on at all times. You got 1 point in your crowd control breaker, and since you have so few skills on your slot 1 bar, you can actually drop this in. That's not too often you can do that. And then action, which is his signature. This boosts everything up, makes him attack super fast. So this really helps you, with spirit management and also whittling down bosses. So second bar looks like this. I have his web sling. This is like, if you're going a long distance with Taskmaster, you definitely want to do the web sling over the dash just because he'll run out of spirit. So with the new movement mechanics, it's actually a lot better for him. So I recommend having this somewhere close by in order to be able to be used. And then again, you're just keeping your Fearless Acrobat and Impervious Soldier stances up at all times. And the rest of the build just kind of synergizes between ranged and melee. Everything is physical damage. So the artifacts I'm using were the Blessed Advanced Circlet of Sidorak, and we'll see how he turns out after the blessings are reworked. But got the Hella Blessing on him right now because it's not changed yet. So this works really well for physical damage guys, helps with survivability, and if you're going to play him in a patrol zone, which most end game people would probably be in a patrol zone, I would say this will help tons and tons with spirit management and health management just because there's so many orbs to pick up after boss fights and just killing mobs. So this is, I think, one of the best artifacts out there for physical characters. I got a Crossbones teaching credential for physical because he does melee and ranged, does physical damage overall, and whenever you get a critical hit, you gain brutal damage ×3. So it's really just a good all-around artifact, especially for melee ranged characters, which he is. Again, following that suit, we got the Skrull Avengers Medallion, which is ranged and melee with fighting, attack speed. This is a really shitty roll, by the way. But you have +3 to fighting pretty much all the time, and you gain health, attack speed, and some additional melee and ranged damages, which is great. I got the Fred Duke's bodysuit on for the flat damage. Strength also helps with any kind of physical skills damage-wise, as well as like their cost spirit-wise, so that's good for him overall. Tons of damage reduction on this and some health, which is great. And we're using the white suit jacket. Again, this is just an overall, I think, fairly shitty roll for the defense rating, but it's just flat damage, health, and defense to make him real tanky. I would have liked to use the power dupe on a defensive armor, but we got enough armor just through his passives and everything else, so went with the physical damage Uru with power dupe. This is an okay roll. It's not that great. I think it can go up in the 14 or 440s or something like that for the physical power gain on brutal damage. It goes 4,400 something, whatever. But so this is a mediocre roll. We're using Asgard relics. You could also use Lemuria's or whatever if you need health regen. You just saw how little damage I actually took, so these are working out pretty well. Got Industrial City Signet, just because of the attack speed, physical damage, crit rating, and additional damage whenever you use a physical power, which is everything he uses. I only had a rank 2 Shield of Perseus, but this is level 80. Got this from a cake, so I figured I'd throw it on him, see how it handles. And it's working really well. Once I hit rank 4, I'll get a lot more damage, which I'm pretty excited about, but I can't imagine how well he's going to stay alive with defense, deflect, and dodge rating with all that extra health. So this is the first character I've ever used a Shield of Perseus on, and I'm very surprised by how well this legendary works for survivability. It's pretty incredible, and DPS is nothing without staying alive. So threw this on him, loving it so far. I got all of his own uniques, slot 1 through 5, level 69, and I just rolled them to have max plus the skills for things that are in my skill kit down below. Haven't even put any runes on them to gain extra physical or health, so I could still do that on slots 2 through 3, put in like a cattle rune, and then these slots 1 and 5 I could put a stone rune on and gain another 100 damage for physical. Just got a mediocre bifecta, I guess, kind of core on them with some crit damage ratings. They're all pretty good rolls. Just my normal pet, and I put a Insignia Mockingbird with some decent health and brutal rating on him. Other than that, I think that's pretty much the build. Obviously Pirate Deadpool for the trial itself, but then as soon as you're done, feel free to run whoever you want, because it's not going to really matter. So I will unsummon him, and I'll bring back who I had in before, which was Howard the Duck. Also Rescue would probably be really good too. Howard the Duck is just fun to watch. That's why I have him on here. So we'll bring him back out. He turns into the Iron Man guy and does all the flamethrower stuff. Also, I got the costume that I wanted for Taskmaster. I figured if I'm going to roll around as him, I might as well be the Avengers World costume rather than his standard. Just looks a lot more hardcore to me, so looks like armored out and ready to kill someone. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm going to go do some Cosmic Patrol now and maybe get my plus to fighting on the slots 1 through 5 in Hightown, something like that. And then I don't know, maybe we'll do some more in-game content with Taskmaster. I want to see this at level 5 and how much stuff I can survive. Maybe I'll do some Cosmic Trials with them. Hope you guys enjoyed the build, and again, all the credit for the build goes to those appropriately on the forums and on marvelheroes.info. One of the highest ranked builds out there for Taskmaster. I just found it on marvelheroes.info. Credit goes to him, great guide, but did my own little tweak on the artifacts and it works out pretty well. So hope you guys enjoy. Peace.